Good afternoon, iRacers. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. Alex Simpson, Conrad Venter here for another round of the iRacing Grand Prix Series. We're at Silverstone for round number 10 of the championship. I'm totally unprepared, got no idea who's leading the championship. I don't need to look it up really though. Patrick has been smashing it. To be honest, it's all about a fight for who's going to finish second in the championship. Sebastian Filosa, Jamie Fluke, Matt Farrow, names that all spring to mind that have got a chance to do that. And they're all in the race today as well, which is great. I don't see Patrick in there. Of course, World Championship is just a week away. I dare say he's at Interlagos, getting prepared for that. Conrad, Silverstone home circuit for both yourself and me. Is it a favourite of yourself?
This particular layout is. I quite like this layout. I can't say that I'm too fond of the new version. But yeah, it's sort of my adopted home track, and really looking forward to this one. It's a nice quick track with nice flowing corners, and looking forward to this one.
And of course we're going there in just a couple of months time now for the World Endurance Championship, so 17 of us from the team going down there. If anybody else is going, just give a quick shout out now. Just drop us a message on Facebook, come and find us. There's loads of us. We're going to be in the snooze box for the whole weekend, so if you want to chill around the track a bit afterwards, I think they've got a common room area there. We're going to have some meetups, go to the pub, have a good laugh. But yeah, so right now, if you fancy a session.
Yeah, I'm also still looking for a spoon partner. So last year or two years ago we went, it was pretty cold, but we were sleeping in tents back then. And so luckily we've got the cozinesses of the snooze boxes this year for the WEC, so that should be brilliant.
Alright, guys are just starting to put their qualifying times in now. 121 so far, provisional pole. Jamie just still a 121, but just a little bit quicker. Filosa is a 121.5. Is anyone on track? What's going on?
Yeah, Jamie, I think will be rather keen to make amends for last week, where he was leading the race for 90% of the laps, and then two mistakes dropped him down to third place by the end. So yeah, hopefully he can hold on to pole position and make up for those mistakes from last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth pointing out that he did a race afterwards in that as well, which he improved his points tally for the week as well, so moved him closer to the Sebastian and I think Farrow as well. So those guys are actually really close. Stein's a little bit further down in the championship at the moment because he missed a couple of rounds early on, so I think today will bring him up to possibly 8 rounds as well, so I dare say he will be there or thereabouts in the championship. Let me just quickly find out exactly where everybody is, just as we're waiting for times to go around. I assure you the camera's on most exciting, it just happens to be selecting Apex cars at the minute.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the Steins. Stein is actually in a pretty promising position. He's on 1,700 points with 7 weeks, and then everybody up to fourth place, which is Matt Farrow, is only 114 points ahead of him. So he can climb quite a few spots. Yeah. It's a good round around here.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna have to work to get in front of Sebastiano, but I think because both himself, I know all of the drivers at Silverstone have got sort of weak rounds that they need to drop, so it'll be interesting to see exactly how it's going to work out. Camera's going absolutely insane, flipping here, there, and everywhere. Stein just puts him in 4th. But yeah, so after this week, I think we really should see all of the contenders in a good place. Marcus Jensen as well, also only done 7 races. He's in 10th, and I know he's got some drop weeks as well. So those last 2 rounds going to see all those drop points coming in. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all pans out. Daniel Winson, any driver out there at the moment, I think, on a hot lap? No, Bartolat's out there. He's way down at the moment in 22nd place, so he needs to step it up. This is something we've seen from Bart, just not always on point for qualifying, but usually very, very strong in the race. But 20 seconds not going to help him today. It's going to be a real tall order to get up and into sort of like podium positions. He's third overall in the championship. He needs a good result today.
Yeah, I think he must have made a mistake on his first flying lap. He's on his second one now, so possibly an off track on his first flying lap. Oh, he's just struggling to get through the chicane before bridge, coming through bridge now.
Yeah, let's just see what his time will be when he crosses the line. Expecting something in a sort of mid 121 will get him into a reasonable position. 21.4 will get him pole. 420, 21.8 up to 7th place. Bit of pressure when you've got to do it on that last lap. But still 7th place, that gives him much better chance to have a good result, I think.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a pressure lap for him. He did make a mistake just before bridge, just running a little bit deep into the chicane. That would have cost him a 10th or 2.
Take us through the final standings, qualifying standings, sorry.
Right, here we go. On pole position, we have Jamie Fluke. Alongside him is Marcus Jensen to make it at Apex Academy. Lockout on the front row. We've got Boris Spoelstra in 3rd place, Steins Korthorst in 4th. In 5th place is Daniel Benson. In 6th place, Sebastiano Filosa Bartolot in 7th, with Matt Farrow in 8th. We've got Steve Honan in 9th place, Slavia Yatsenko in 10th. They've got George Maris and Yuri Toman in 11th and 12th. 13th is Zoran Jonic. 14th is Victor Prieto. And 15th is David E. Baker. Cyprian is in 16th. 17th is Nicholas Rasmussen. 18th is Daniel Cabanillas. 19th is Flores Bishar. 20th, Hugo Preto, Timu Lapalainen in 21st, Devat Garoni in 22nd, and Mika Hoppinen in 23rd place.
Always intrigues me when the drivers have to start on the bend. Of course, even on this old layout, they were always on the actual straightaway section. So this car, in this sort of an area, even more tricky as well. They want to get a good start. So much torque is going to kick in. So let's keep an eye, see what's going to go on a bit further back, because it could be interesting. Turn 1, tricky in these cars as well. Looks pretty good so far. No one having any issues or going wide.
Well, Jamie Fluke had an absolute screamer of a start, and he's off. Marcus Jensen managed to keep hold of 2nd, and they are sort of single file going into Maggots and Beckett's.
Oh, just looking a bit further back, everybody's sort of checking up, trying to get through the S's at the moment. Looks like a good start from everybody. Nice to see.
Yeah, this is sort of looking back through the field and looking for the puffs of smoke to pop up, but there's nothing there this week.
Yeah, so it's Fluke followed by Jensen, Stein, Boris, Filosa, Farrow, and then we've got Farrow just making some moves actually. Like he just got past Wensin, and we've got George Maris as well having a little look. Actually, he's coming under a little bit of a pressure from Toman. Laps, pretty long race around Silverstone. I imagine those front tyres are going to take an absolute pounding. What's the track temperature today, Conrad? I don't know if you've got that available to you. I didn't look at it at the start of the broadcast, unfortunately.
It's nice and cool. It's 39 degrees, so I think the guys shouldn't have that much problems with initial grip, I don't think. But just looking back, Bartolot had an off-track excursion at Vale, and he's dropped way back down to I think it's 12th place he's running in now.
Yeah, you're right. Absolute shocker of a first lap. See if he's got any damage or anything like that. Car looks good. So yeah, it just must have been a bit of a sluggish start for him.
I think he might have just gotten a wheel on the grass in the braking zone, or just outbroke himself. But yeah, he definitely took the agricultural route through there.
Sorry, Conrad, Steve Houghton having a little spin coming out of the Vale chicane, and I'm not sure what happened there. Let's take a quick look at that one back, because have a look. Under no real pressure or anything like that, just heavy into the braking zone. Hit the curb on the inside, and I tell you what, that was just as he was getting back on the power there. Just give it a little bit too much of a squirt in between Vale and Club, and yeah, just bit him hard, and he's all the way down in, well, last place now.
Sorry, my timing screen has just gone all wrong.
Yeah, Bartlett making a little bit of head ground up and into 11th place. That's certainly going to be something to watch for the rest of the race. Stein closing in on the back of Marcus Jensen as well. We know how quick Stein is, and he's, again, the gap SRT team much stronger at the end of the race than at the start. So
yeah, we've seen it week after week with, like you say, they start out slowly, might be a bit of an insult, but I mean, they get quicker as the race gets on. And we've seen other teams where it's the exact opposite, where they it's like a greyhound out of a trap, and then tyre wear or tyre temperatures just starts to set in as the race go on. They seem to struggle a little bit more.
yeah, just having a look for the closest bout. Actually, really is these few guys at the front at the moment. Just a second and a half covering the top three, and yeah, Boris Sebastiano and Matt Farrow not too far behind. Matt probably the closest. Looks like there's a battle going on a bit further back as well. Lavan having a little look up the inside. Oh, that's close. It looked like for a minute that Toman was just going to turn in, but just about left enough room. But the lap's going to follow Slavan through as well. Can't quite do it around the outside. It's actually a little bit compromised now on the exit, although I don't think Victor, who's just up behind him at the moment, is going to be able to get enough of a run. No, he doesn't. Seen this all season long, actually, Conrad, where you go attack and instantly have to switch to defence really quick, because the pack, there's always some sort of pack. We haven't seen much where the race just spreads out massively. There's always little packs everywhere, and people working their way up and through, and then they catch up to another one, and so on and so forth. So Fluke just puts the fastest lap in as well.
Yeah, especially around this track. It's a very fast track, and there's no real heavy braking zones where you can go for an overtake. So if you're lining somebody up, you have to make sure you're going to make it stick. So with the long straights and the fast corners and the DRS, it's not going to be difficult for people to close a gap very quickly.
Yeah, this is good from Bart. He's exited 0.2 of a second back. Of course, Toman has got DRS. They're both wide open, but Slipstream and some ERS there for the lap gets him up alongside the Ferrari liveried McLaren. I have to say it like that. Still side by side, that's great from Toman. Really held on to that. Takes a bit too much speed into the corner, but the lap sees that and has to concede the position. So struggling to get on past Toman. Toman's very strong going into Vale.
Yeah, like I say, Delart going for that overtake, and immediately is is under pressure from Victor behind, but manages to keep hold of the position.
I have to say this is very close up front as well. We haven't seen a race where we've had sort of 5 or 6 cars within sort of a tenth of a second of each other in pace, and you know, starting to show. Just Velosa losing a little bit of ground, but he's only 0.9 of a second back. That looks like a bit of a gap starting to form, but really is nothing. Still well within the DRS zone.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult for cars to pull that 1 second gap to get out of the DRS zone on the cars behind throughout the race. But Lard has just moved him up, himself up to 10th place as well.
Yeah, he got the. We could get that move done. Let's just jump that back to see if we can see where that was, because he had a couple of failed attempts into Vale, so he obviously switched it up. You know, now it just looks like he might have got a really good run coming out of Chapel and straight by. Yeah, exactly that. So it just looked like all the battling. Toman didn't get the DRS this time, and that made the move far easier for Delat. And that seems to be the name of the game, is that, you know, when you're in a pack, you've kind of just got to get the guy, got to attack the guy in front, get him to lose that DRS a little bit. It makes him much more vulnerable to a move in the DRS zones. And yeah, up to P10 for Delat.
Yeah, and that was a lot easier than his attempt on the lap before. He got that move done well down the hanger straight, and there was no need to go side by side through Stowe or anything like that. And with that, he set the fastest lap of the race as well with a 1:23.183. So he's on a bit of a move as they come down hanger. He's got another run on Slava in front of him. He's going to have to go to the outside. Of course, he's going to have the inside for the braking zone.
Slavan holds it round the outside. Oh, that gets tasty when you try and go around the outside of Club. Just as tricky in this car as it is the old. It's got a great run. Do you see a DRS board? Yeah, he opened it a bit late, did Delat. He was like, oh, I'm in the DRS zone. I will open it. Just enough to get by. Get himself up to 9th.
That took about half a lap to get that move done. Again, great driving by both those guys, and
oh, he makes a little mistake actually. Just got a little twitch going on. That gives Slavan the opportunity to get up the inside through Luffield, but doesn't quite get such a great exit. If anything, he could be coming under pressure going into Club. No, he doesn't. Oh, actually, that's Toman just running a little bit wide. Got to be so careful there. It's so bumpy just beyond the curbing. Once you get onto the sort of the rumble area of the AstroTurf out there, it's so easy just to lose the car. You're under left-hand side tyres are just under so much load trying to get the car back across the track, and yeah, manages to well, actually, he just sort of bailed out of it and ran wide. It's the best way to do it. And it looks like the shorts might have made a little mistake. Put my teeth back in. His teammate Boris just 1/10 of a second behind. And we've seen these guys have a great battle last week as well. Joined the party is Sebastiano Velosa, has a little look into Priory, one of the hardest corners to try and overtake. And now it's all about
don't take the teammate out.
Trying to get along the inside of Brooklyn's. Nothing there. If I'm Velosa right now, I'm acutely aware that I've got 2 teammates ahead of me and 1 behind as well in the Gap SRT. So he's the meat in the sandwich he doesn't want to be in, that's for sure.
Oh, it's stressful times for a driver, isn't it? When you so desperately want to make up places with the guy in front of your teammate, and you can't take any liberties there. Just throwing one up the inside and expecting the door to open is it's going to end in disaster, and it will sour relationships within the team as well. We've got this group of, there's about 4 cars running from third down to sixth, but Jamie Fluke and Marcus Jensen's not really pulling away at any rate of knots either. Jensen's sort of just keeping himself within that 1 second range, just maybe using the DRS to pull himself along a little bit with Jamie Fluke, but yeah, they've only got this chasing pack about a second and a half behind them.
Yeah, really, it was all that battle, wasn't it? That just sort of they went through there. Really, just dropped them from the front too, and of course the closing pack as well behind. They're pretty close as well. So, oh, who was that running just a little bit wide? I think that might have been Bart. Yeah, it was Delat. Pushing hard. He knows he needs to make his way up. His sort of rivals in the championship are right where they want to be at the moment.
But the lad's got a bit of clean air in front of him. Oh, he's got George Maris in front of him by about 2 seconds. And but once he's caught up to that, he's essentially with not too far off this leading chasing pack. And if he can manage to get up to there, it's going to be another gap car joining the party up there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was just having a quick look around, see what else was going on. I mean, he's got the pace to do it. He's lapping there or thereabouts the same as the leaders. So you have to think at some point he's going to be there. He's going to need them to battle a little bit if we're going to see him catch up, though, I think.
And just a bit off the pace on that last lap with 124.7. The gap has sort of stabilized somewhere between 9 and 10 seconds for him to the leaders, which to be 10 seconds off the lead after that horrendous first lap he had is not bad. So I'm just looking at Yuri Toman and Victor Prieto having a little side by side as they battle for 11th position. And they're coming through bridge, and the battle is ongoing.
Yeah, settled itself down. I'm having some problems with the stream today as well, as has been picked up on the chat. So definitely very jumpy. Not sure what's quite going on. As you know, we stream to 2 sources at once, so the PC does take a pounding. But yeah, very, very jumpy today.
I was going to ask you. You mentioned earlier that the WCS is starting next week. Of course, you and a whole raft of drivers in the team is involved in that. And how's preparations coming along? You guys looking forward to it?
Yes, coming along nicely. So, I mean, I think we're enjoying this car more than we were the old one. So, no one really knows where we're going to stack up until that first race, and that might change a few teams' approach how they do things. But we feel good. We feel confident. I think we've got a strong team certainly going into the first week, and that just only helps. We're 8 strong going into it this time as well. So yeah, it's the largest team that we've fielded in the World Championship. So just credit to all the guys that come up through the Pro Series. So not going to say anything right now. It's just that we're happy with the car. We're happy with how we're progressing with it, and yeah, next week we'll tell whether or not we remain happy or not.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of an unknown. The car is sort of only been only have 10 weeks of official racing experience on the iRacing service, and yeah, of course you guys haven't driven the car in the WCS series before, so it's pretty difficult to know where everybody is in terms of other teams and that kind of thing when it comes to how they approach a race in the car.
Oh, sorry, Conrad. I say a battle is pretty much done. The lap moves himself up into 8th place. Let's take a quick look at that one back. Looked like again pretty straightforward. Great exit coming out of Beckett's Maggots and Chapel. Uses the DRS alongside down into Stowe. 8 on the brakes. The one place we do see quite a few moves at Silverstone, that and usually into Vale, and yeah, the DRS definitely making that a little bit easier than it was in the past.
Yeah, well, all that was going on. Steve Honan has moved himself up into 18th place after his off-track excursion earlier on in the race, and we've also had Hugo Preto has retired from the race. He's 4 laps down and his car is in the pits. I'm not sure what happened to him. I will endeavour to find out for you.
Honan just got another place there as well, another one of the gap drivers. Oh, going a little bit wide. Steve just gives him way too much room there. They're going to be side by side onto the main straight. Steve was lapping quick enough to get a couple of more places as well. There's a few drivers ahead of him in the 25s. And manages to hold on to that position as well, so he's working his way up nicely. Not the best qualifying. We've also got a couple of drivers changing positions. That's Yuri Toman and Zoran there as well, having a little battle. Zoran having a look down into Vale. Nothing coming that time. Perhaps just a little bit tight going into there, and
Ooh.
Toman all out of the shape there. Managed to hold on to it, otherwise he was he'd have been dead meat there. That's impressive. I mean, he wiggled a few different ways there. You can imagine what he'd have been like in the cockpit there trying to save that one.
I think his bum was wiggling the same way as the car's backside was wiggling there. But yeah, I was watching them a lap ago, so this has been a battle between Yuri and Zoran that's been going on for at least 2 laps. But Yuri just seeming to put away a little bit now, just getting that little gap. And then, as I said earlier, Hugo Preto has retired from the race. His troubles came when he ran wide coming out of Cops, and tried to keep his foot in it, going over the grass and losing the back end and ending up in a wall somewhere between Maggots and Beckett's.
Getting ever closer to the front. Roster's closed back in after the little battle he had, so the front 3 again separated by about 1.5 seconds.
Sorry, just to come back quickly to that battle we were looking at a moment ago. Zoran has managed to make that pass coming down the Hanger Straight, and he's now in front. But yeah, I reckon that might be a one that continues for a few more laps.
Yeah, let's just take a quick look at that back on replay then, as we missed it. Yeah, Toman squeezed a little bit just to try and hold on to that, but yeah, in the end couldn't. So that DRS proving, very, very useful here indeed. Probably one of the few tracks where actually it really has made a difference. The old car is so difficult to overtake, and they've put that DRS board far enough back that we actually look like we get a decent run on it.
Of course, you still have to get a decent run coming out of Beckett's onto the Hanger Straight. It's not a flat corner, so you have to be there with a good exit to make use of that straight line speed coming onto Hanger Straight.
Like Farrow closing into the back of Velosa. Velosa just a little bit wide through the exit of Club. Thought for a moment Farrow with the DRS was just going to have a little look going into Abbey. It is an overtake in place. It is a bit tricky, and you know, we've seen, well, I've certainly seen a lot of accidents there where people try and pull that one off. You need to be firmly alongside. Very easy to try and hold it around the outside and get the inside for the second part of the chicane. What that has done is separated Velosa from the back of Boris, and all of a sudden he's not got DRS. So we'll keep an eye on this battle, because this could open it up for Farrow to get a run out of Chapel, as we've seen his teammates do already in this race. Delat as well. Oh, he's just actually gone. He's just gone and made a move into. That was in Cops. That was as well. Let's go back to this battle though. Half a second coming out of Chapel. It's not going to be enough. Even with the DRS, it only closes in 2 or 3 tenths there. You're right, Conrad. You've got to have a good run through Beckett's, Maggots, Chapel. Come out of that about 3-4 tenths behind. Otherwise, it's still very difficult to get by.
That's normally a corner I struggle with a lot, and it's rather frustrating when you only catch up to the guy in front when you get to the end of the straight. But that's the nature of the track, and it makes for interesting racing at least. Marcus Jensen has just sort of established himself behind Jamie Fluke, sitting there like a constant 6, 7 tenths behind Fluke, but Scortor's is pulled Spoelstra along with him, and I mean they're right behind Jensen as well.
Yeah, and we're getting into that stage of the race where they start to come strong as well. So lap 18, almost halfway. Nothing separating them. They're doing sort of almost identical lap times.
Oh, well, have a look now. Delat is after overtaking Vensing as well. He's got about a 4.5 second gap to Velosa, so he's got clean air in front of him. No traffic, so we'll see what kind of lap times he puts in, and possibly closing the gap to the guys in front. But Velosa's passed Farrow. Something happened to Farrow?
Yeah, something's happened to Farrow, because Farrow had got in front. What's going on?
Oh, he's gone.
If we can find him and get a replay. Is it an accident? Oh, I'm sure they were having a battle.
Oh yeah,
Farrow got himself. One. Yeah, Farrow got himself by, so we missed that. Oh, and he'd done all the hard work heavily off the exit of Club into that wall. Like I say, it can snatch.
It's not the first time we've seen somebody having a little back end action coming out of Club, but yeah, that was just, it went one way and the other, and then it snapped, and then he was just a passenger from there on in. And for a second there, from how quickly he was dropping down the order to how quickly he disconnected, I thought he might have dropped internet connection. But
yeah, it looked like that, didn't it? But yeah, it makes sense.
I fear a bit of frustration might have set in there. A couple of utensils flying around the living room for the frustration of that happening. Right. Back to our man that was making his way through the back. Mr. Delat has closed the gap on 5th place Velosa by a second on that last lap. So he's definitely gaining. And then again, Velosa has got about a 4.5 second gap up to Boris Spoelstra on 4th place.
Having a look at some of the other drivers. Cyprian way down in 16th at the moment. We used to seeing him up there a little bit more, so sure what's going on with there. Got Daniel and then Mika Happenham in 15th and 14th. Just ahead of those is Rasmussen.
Certainly had a lot less retirement so far this week than we did last week around Suzuka, and yeah, a lot less incidents as well.
But there's another battle starting to form up as well, and that's between George Maris and Slaven here as well. Slowly working his way up. Last time was half a second quicker.
So for Slava, he's only gained that one place from where he started in the race. He was 10th in qualifying, currently sitting at 9th, chasing down 8th place. Seeing one of the drivers in the chat. Sorry, there must have been a little incident somewhere. Yeah, sorry, Alex. Slava is
I'm just just watching this back right now, and yeah, it looks like a good run out of Beckett's, Maggots, Chapel. Got the DRS deployed. Looks like George tried to defend the inside just a fraction, but yeah, the DRS just too strong and up and into 8th place.
I think it's, where are we now? Lap 21. It's sort of getting to that stage of the race where tyre wear is really gonna start making a difference to what you can get out of the car. So I think the guys that were earlier on were better at looking after their tyres. We might see them slowly but surely now moving up the field, and it'll be a little bit easier for them to make the pass, and then obviously put a gap to the guys behind them.
Quickest driver right now is Boris at the moment. He's this group of 4. I think definitely want his teammate to start to think about making moves if they can, because yeah, he looks like he's just got a little bit more at the moment. Stein's in a strong place as far as the championship goes, so maybe they're thinking about that just a little bit as well.
Yeah, and we had Marcus Jensen and Stein Sporthorst involved in an incident around Suzuka last week, and a bit of handbags afterwards. So it'll be interesting to see when it comes to overtaking time, or a little bit side by side time, what the feelings is.
Yeah, it was a strange one because there was nothing in it. It was just an accident, wasn't it? But
yeah, I think it's a bit of late season frustration creeping in as well. Yeah. The absolute desperation to get a good result to elevate yourself up the standings. And I think for either of them, it was a racing incident, and there was nothing in it. But yeah, I say the frustration creeping in after the race, and a couple of handbags flying here and there. Jamie Fluke has been leading from the start of the race. Hopefully he doesn't have any thoughts of last week starting to creep in. But we've been in this, we're in the same position last week and dropped the ball on it. but these gap cars are looking very strong. The quickest guy on the last lap was Bart Delart. He's still 9.5 seconds off, but he did a 1:23.3.
Yeah, 3/10 or so quicker again. Let's keep an eye. They're all sort of 6s. Stein was a 0.9 that time.
Again on that lap he did a 1:23.4. Sebastiano Veloso in front of him did a 1:23.8. So that gap is now just about 2 seconds between Delart and Veloso, and he's going to be really keen to get up to the back of Veloso and get past him and double quick time to give himself the maximum amount of laps to try and catch these 4 guys at the front.
Yeah, it's only going to be a matter of time, I think, before see him, close in and make a move.
I tell you what, it's been a couple of weeks since we had a battle like this for the lead. Last we've become so accustomed to a certain driver turning up Mr. Patrick Holzman and just absolutely pulling away from the field, and the rest of them fighting for second place. So we've got the two Apex Racing Academy cars, 2 gap cars, and another one closing in. It's lining up to be for a tasty finish in about 16 laps time.
Yeah, I've picked up actually just rather late. There's no Dunkel in this one as well, so he's been doing most of the races this season, but nowhere to be seen. Just on board with the number 7 car, Oris here, Gap SRT. Just losing a little bit of ground through the high speed section, and his teammate ahead just blinking out to try and make Jensen aware that he's there. Anything just to distract Marcus. Really, he needs him to make a mistake while he's got tucked up behind his teammate and got a bit of slipstream, as well as the DRS can be very difficult for Stein to get by. So I have to say I do prefer the new layout, but this is still a classic layout. I do love it. Just as we're on board now, watching the whole lap. Bridge, such a great corner. Priory as well. That much more of a challenge. Brooklyn's so much tighter now as well than it is on the new layout.
I think for myself the sort of thing that makes the new track so difficult is turns 3 and 4. I mean, the rest of the track is such a high-speed track, and then you've got those you can almost call it annoying little sort of tight corners, which you have to accommodate in the setup, and it's a real pain in the backside. If you have to negotiate those 2 corners, it's probably the 2 corners where I lose the most amount of time when I race it, and whichever sim it is.
Yeah, I mean, they had to slow the little bits of that circuit down because it was so fast, and they've added in a whole bunch of extra straightaways and things like that. So I'm not surprised they made it really tight and twisty around there. But you're right. On the new layout, that's the only bit I would want to change. I think get it a bit more flowing. Give me the really old circuit, back in the day that was just like absolute pedal to the metal.
Oh, see, that sounds like more my kind of circuit. What is impressive though about the new one is, I mean, you and I were both there with the WEC a couple of years ago, and we're one place watching the cars, the speed they carry, those LMP cars, the speed they carry through those tight corners, is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you don't even have to mention Maggots and Beckett's. It's probably it was the first sort of real live racing event that I've been to. And the speed that these cars go at is mind-boggling. You try and imagine it in your head before you see it, and there's just nothing can prepare you for what it's like.
Of course, a bit more downforce next year on the Formula 1 cars as well, so we'll see lap times drop a little bit. Not a huge amount, not quite sure what they're going to do for 2017 yet. I haven't paid too much attention to it, but no, I do hope that we sort of try and bring it back to the days where there's pushing hard every lap rather than just must save tyres. So
I'm still struggling to figure out what the tyre rules is for this year.
Now, interestingly, I need to jump back to the front battle because Jensen has just dropped out of the DRS zone. This is the first time he's trying to fight back in there by the looks of it. In this latter part of the lap, looks like he might have just got himself back in there. Needs to have a good Beckett's and Luffield here. Still a second out at the moment. He won't want that. He will come under a little bit of pressure if he hasn't got that DRS from his teammate ahead.
While we were looking at that, Alex, Butler has just made his way past Filosa as well. It has cost him a little bit of time now. He's just over 11 seconds behind this leading pack.
And Jensen did manage to get back in the DRS in time for the hangar straight. Let's see, whereabouts was that? Just recently or a few laps ago?
It's just on the last lap while we were talking about Jensen.
Okay, I think we're just seeing the aftermath of it there. Let's go back a bit further. Yeah, again, very orthodox move for him today. He's pulled that one off a few times. DRS down and into Stowe. Losa not really defending the inside. So difficult when they've got so much momentum. You can go around the outside or up the inside there. So yeah, no issues coming out through club like his teammate had earlier on. And yeah, so he's up into P5. There's also a bit of a battle going on. We'll stick with it because this is going to appear on our screen very quickly as well. This is between Mika Happanen in 13th at the moment. These three have been pretty close for quite a while now in this race. Might be about another 30-40 seconds away before we see them have a little battle. As just to jump quite a way back for the last overtake.
Oh!
Where?
Oh, Daniel Cabanillas, he's already got a couple of scuff marks on that car. He just got extremely close to the back of Rasmussen. Looks like he had to bail out, and he nearly stuck it in the bridge, on the bridge.
On board with Mika, just a little bit too much torque coming out of Luffield there, but looks like it was controlled. Got a good run. He was very close to. I think this is where we're going to see the move. Sorry, it took a while to get there, but yeah, through Beckett's Maggots. Looks very, very close. Great line going in and through Chapel. DRS firmly open now, as we see. Lots of defence from the inside. I say, you can get a run on the outside, side by side. Much better driving into Vale, and there's your move done, complete. Jen Jensen has lost the DRS.
Yeah, he's definitely out of the DRS zone now. I think he might be feeling a bit more pressure from the two cars behind him as they come down Hangar Straight.
Yeah, they're going to get close. Oh, Boris had a little look on his teammate there. All of a sudden, Line was eyeing up a potential move. Had to worry about his teammate for a moment. Oh, no, don't do it.
Wow.
That'll be a slowdown, I think, for him there as well. He got out of shape and had to dart over the inside curb to ensure that he didn't hit his teammate there. But
that DRS was wide open, so he's either not paying attention to the slowdown, or he managed to serve it as he went through the corner or around it. But that was harum scarum stuff. Yeah, I mean, he looked like he wanted to, was planting the seed of I want to get past on as they went through coming down Hanger Straight. But yeah, just the brakes locking up and yeah, nearly running into the back of his teammate.
Yeah, just 9 laps to go. I mean, this race really has ticked on by quickly. There's a few little other individual battles going on there. We'll keep you apprised with those. Should they heat up anymore? But yeah, let's keep an eye really on here because Stein and Boris, they look like they've got the bit between their teeth and want to try and get past Jensen here. Of course, if you're Jamie right now, you're just hoping that your teammate can hold him off for another 5-6 laps. That's probably going to give him enough time to get this race done. Oh, Stein very out of shape into Abbey. Perhaps a little bit late on the brakes there, trying everything he can. All of a sudden now he's under pressure again from his teammate. These guys, I think, are pushing hard now. They know this is where their car's strong, but they're perhaps just pushing a little bit too much.
He's just losing a little bit of time coming out of the final corner. You can just see the front end of the car just bouncing a little bit as they start getting on the gas.
And if we look at the lap times there as well, Jensen picked it up with 1:34.4. He was still a tenth of a second behind Jamie at the front, and yeah, 0.8, but a 0.2 for Boris as well. So, they've got the pace to bring the race to the 2 Apex cars in front of them, and just what do you do? There looks like there's some sort of there's no team orders because he's going for moves and things like that, but do you make way for your teammate to have a little pop because you've been behind for 31 laps and not done anything? Does Boris get a chance to have a go?
Yeah, I mean, that would be the sensible decision for me. Spoelstra definitely looks like the quicker one at the moment. If they I would think if they're going to have any chance of making any impression on Jensen before the end of the race, they need to swap positions and let Spoelstra have his turn at Jensen. And there's nothing really for Scott Horse to lose from it.
9 laps to go. We've got some back markers starting to come into view as well. That's going to make it a little bit more interesting. I dare say the pack's going to tighten back up as well, and they're almost having a bit of a battle as well. That's Timu and Karoni there as well, just ahead. Sorry, they are 0.8 of a second apart. So DRS coming into play. Timu won't want to finish 21st, I'm sure of it. So yeah, let's see how that plays out. Stein 0.2 back. It's just too far back to make a move. Jensen's probably having to deploy a little bit more ERS than he's happy with at this point. Oh, deep into Vale. Let's get a good exit out of club now. Remember, we have got DRS here. We'll have to go defensive. Stein having a little look. It's just such a short run, even with the DRS. It's really difficult. And yeah, Jensen absolutely nailed the exit there, which made it very, very tricky.
Was they just coming up to some back markers as well? As Fluke has already made his way past. Oh no, he hasn't. He's behind.
Yeah, he's
Karoni.
made past one, so but not both. These guys are starting to battle now, and Jamie's pulling away. So it's exactly what Jamie wanted. He's got some back markers between him as well. That security makes all the difference.
I mean, you've got about 4/10 between Jensen and Stein there coming through Maggots and Beckett's, and Spoelstra's going to be onto them as well.
If you're Stein, you're furious right now because you haven't got the DRS. Oh, and who's that checking up? That's Karoni there checking up. So let everybody by, including Timu. Timu's like, thank you very much, I'll take that. Oh, I thought Boris was going to have a little look into Vale. Vincent not past Timu, so again he'll get a little bit of DRS down here, and he really needs him to get out of the way. He's having a little look, you know.
Oh, he's letting them through.
Oh! Jensen has to almost sort of make an overtake to get it done. How quickly the a back marker can change things. Boris couldn't get through, so he's stuck behind, and all of a sudden 1.2 seconds back from this battle. Stein just goes in a little bit deep into Brooklyn's. Boris now through as well, but has separated out the pack a little bit with 7 laps to go, 6 as they come across the line.
Yeah, Lappalainen was telling them to get past. Maybe backing off on the racing line, not the greatest idea. But nevertheless, I mean, the effort was there to let them through, and I think, I mean, yeah, letting 3 or 4 cars past at once is always a difficult thing.
I take what, Stein looks very, very quick now. He's instantly back onto Jensen as well, half a second, so tyres in much, much better shape. These are the critical phase of the race, you know, those last 5 or 6 laps. Every week, how often do we see, you know, battles really starting to form up at this stage of the race? Of course, we're running these 66% of a full Grand Prix distance, you know, and they haven't changed tyres as well, so we won't get into the tyre, and it shouldn't last that long or anything like that, but you know, the drivers are pushing it to the limits. Right now their spotter is telling them that, you know, the tyres are almost done, and you know, they ought to consider pitting. They're going to just blatantly ignore that. We've seen a few punches this season. As long as you haven't had any major lockups or huge slides, usually they'll last this distance.
The big winner, of course, through all of that, while they were making their way past the back markers, was Jamie Fluke. He's got a 2.5 second gap to Marcus Jensen now. So
yeah,
that
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he keeps it clean, that should be enough for him to take the win, barring any disastrous mistakes or run-ins with any other back markers. But the real fight is going to come from Jensen, Stein and Boris Spoelstra in these last 4.5 laps.
Yeah, Stein got a little bit loose going through Beckett's and transitioning into Maggots there, and he had to do a little bit of correction, and that's why he's not quite as close to Jensen as he has been, and just goes to show that their tyres are on the absolute edge as well. Lap times for everybody dropped off a little bit as well. The only person who's still in sort of like the mid to low 23s is Bart Delat. You have to think, if Bart had been with this pack, hadn't had what he had at the start, then he'd be right in this fight right now, and maybe even just ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, he certainly had the pace, and you would have to think if Jensen, Sportos and Spoelstra are going to get into any kind of major battle in this last 4 laps, then it's going to give him an opportunity to close up to them. He's only sort of 6 seconds behind them. And a clean run, he won't be able to do it. He's going to need these guys to fight in order to catch up.
Yeah, Boris put the quickest lap in of the 3 drivers that time by. Jamie gets more traffic in between himself and the chasing pack. All about Stein though. I think, yeah, Stein's going to be the one that's going to make a move. Closed right in on Jensen that time. Of course, he's using DRS. Close in, gets a good exit out of club. Still not close enough though. Back marker moves out the way nice and early. All 3 drivers through.
Oh, we've got Daniel Cabanillas.
Stein
just
spun.
getting through the bridge.
Stein spins coming out of Abbey. Oh, and almost straight into the path of his teammate. Just about manages to get it out of the way. Gets majorly loose as well when trying to get the power down. So, yeah, just perhaps being a bit aggressive. He was as close as he's been to Marcus. Let's take a quick look at it back. That's not what he wanted to do at all. Yeah, just massively on the power. Worst camera angle Alex should have done ever. And then you can see his teammate just there, and he gets back on the power, and car just lurches to the right and to the left. He's away, but you know, that's any chance he's got gone, I think now.
I'm not sure where Cabanillas was in relation to that while that was happening, but he had at a moment he was sort of stuck in the wall in that same chicane where this spin happened for Stein.
I wonder if he had to avoid Stein. We weren't in a very good shot, so we didn't really see exactly what happened. So yeah, I wonder if he tried to avoid him and ended up putting him out. 3 laps to go. Boris closing back in on Jensen, but he's got that job to do. Oh, and he goes deep into Abbey as well. Everybody's struggling at Abbey at the moment. It is a tricky corner. 1.1 seconds the gap now, so just looks like a fight really is. When you need the tyre to be there, it's just not. Bart Delat only 5 seconds behind this battle. Luke now nearly 3 seconds up the road.
Jensen seems to have a pretty good car coming through that last section of corners, those tight corners. He's just managed to give himself he's got about a second gap, so it might be touch and go whether Spoelstra is going to get the DRS or not.
Yeah, let's keep an eye on him, see if he does get it. Needs to have a really good exit through Chapel, will come into the detection zone. And he does just. So.
It's just gonna, yeah. The battle for second place was 4 cars. It's now down to 2.
Like just having a look further back, I just saw David Baker and Cyprian really close on the circuit. Looks like Baker's had some sort of an issue. He's just recovering it. Yeah, he's just slowly nursing it around. Gonna have 1 lap to go when they cross the start-finish line this time, 0.7 of a second. I have to say it's going to be tough for Boris. He's going to have to absolutely nail this sector. Beckett's Mangots Chapel going to have to be perfect. But can't see that he's going to have a chance to get the move done into Stowe, but he just needs to use that DRS to close in and maybe have a look into Vale. Late break failed there. It's going to have to be Abbey.
Oh, we've got David Baker in front of them as well. Oh, he's letting them through just before they get to Maggots and Beckett.
Yeah, Baker had a little mistake that previous lap and picked up a bit of damage, and I think just trying to limp it back home. 0.6 of a second is the gap. DRS is deployed. See on the timing screen, it's not closing at all. That just goes to show that Marcus has got plenty of ERS left and just absolutely nailed the button down there. No chance for Boris. Just needs to make sure he doesn't make a mistake. No other battles out there at the moment.
Well, you often feel that as well. The harder you press that button, the more you're deploying.
Oh, well, that's how I feel. Don't put my finger through it. Well, it's like.
Barring any mistakes, Jensen should be able to keep hold of the second place here. We've got 3 corners to go, 2 corners to go.
Jamie got a bit of traffic ahead of him. He won't worry about that too much. He'll slow right down. No intentions, I'd think, of going past. Comes across and takes the win. He's delighted with that. Great race. Jensen in second, followed by Boris, Delat and Stein. So a race of 2 teams out there, really. Fix Academy and Gap SRT take the top 5 spots. Bastiano Pelosa, 6th place should be okay. I don't know if he'll improve on his points that he's got already. Obviously he is second in the championship, so in a strong place for the Thrustmaster Movano team there. And then Daniel Wensing, he's going to come across next as well. Red Devolution Racing. Followed by Lava there as well. Victor is after him. And George is going to round out the top 10. Here he comes. There is a little battle going on out there. I don't know if anything's close enough. Flores and Nicholas. Yeah, close, but no chance of a move unless there's a mistake out the final corner, and there isn't. They remain as they are. Take us away with the final results, mate.
Right, we've got Jamie Fluke, Marcus Jensen, and Boris Poelstra taking the podium spots for today's race. Bart de Laat recovering from an early mistake to get himself back up to 4th. Steins Korthorst in 5th place, Sebastiano Velosa in 6th, Daniel Vensing in 7th, and then we've got Slava Yatsenko in 8th place, Victor Prieto in 9th, George Maris in 10th place, and coming home in 11th place is Zoran Jonic, 12th place Yuri Toman, and 13th place is Mika Harpinen. Flores Bishar in 14th place. We've got Niklas Rasmussen 15th. 16th place is Cyprian Brusakaru, and then 17th place, a lap down, is David Baker. Cabanillas in 18th, also a lap down. Along with them is Steve Honan, Timu Lapalainen, and Dale Caroni in 21st place. They're all lap down, and then just 2 retirees from today's race is Matt Farrow and Hugo Preto.
Just caught the tail end of Jamie doing some donuts there.
Yeah, well, that's thoroughly deserved. He can shred those tires to bits. I mean, after the disappointment of last week, today was a very controlled ride from start to finish to take that win. And the same with Marcus Jensen, just behind him. He's been having some bad luck in recent weeks, most notably last week around Suzuka. So I'm pretty sure he'll be very happy with getting second place as well.
Yeah, he's only on 7 rounds, isn't he? So that's pretty reasonable result for him. He'll be delighted with that. We won't see the tables updating time, unfortunately, to bring them what you are. But what I will say is get in for Apex there. I'm not going to beat around the bush. We'll blow our own trumpet. So well done, guys. 1-2. So delighted for both of them.
Yeah, it's always nice to see the cars come home and doing well. But from my perspective, I have to admit the Gap cars. I sort of saw them at the beginning of the season, and there were a couple of them dotted about with a few of them doing rather well. But they've really grown as a team over the course of this season. I mean, just have to take today as an example, where they were running, was it 3rd, 4th, 5th, I think 7th at one point. It looked like a Gap exhibition race at one point.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars out there. I saw a team presentation shot actually with all of the cars lined up. And there was a fair few of them as well. It's good to see that as well. And I remember when they posted on the forum, to say, they were starting up a new team and stuff like that, and wish them all the best. There's there's a lot of people that look at it and go, yeah, of course you are, and all this kind of stuff. And when you try and you put in the effort and use the resources that are available to you, you can, compete at the high level, and it's great to see that they've done that as well, and that they've built the team really, really quickly as well, and a lot of drivers jumping on board with them as well. So I can only see strong things for them. Of course, they've got a few drivers that I dare say will go for the for sort of pro in season 4 when we have the iRacing Grand Prix Pro Series. I think it's something like that. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what they're gonna call that. So. But of course, that's not run with the normal Class A times. It's just going to be 1 race a week, I think, at 2 o'clock on the Saturday, 2 p.m. GMT. So, yeah. Just seeing if we could get an interview. Looks like Jamie's hiding down in TeamSpeak.
I've got no problem just pulling him up here and you're putting him right on the spot.
Well, I sent him a message. If you didn't see it, that's fair enough. Right. Give it just a couple of minutes. We'll have a tiny little quick advert break, and then we'll see if he's jumped up. Failing that, we'll wrap up the show, and we'll see everyone. Where are we?
It's Monza.
Monza, oh, that's
Yeah.
going to be epic. Hopefully
Yeah,
I'll sort my stuttering out for then. I don't know what's going on. I had alerts all over my PC today going, hi CPU, it's just going absolutely nuts. And yeah, so apologies for that. Not the best of broadcasts we can do. It does pound it when we do it to 2 locations at once. So we, if we have to switch it to 1 for next week because we're having the same issues, then we will do just that. He's actually just texted me to say, yes, grab him up. So let's pull him up and we'll talk to him now. Jimmy Fluke joins us in the commentary booth.
Hello.
Welcome, sir. Congratulations. Lovely, lovely win. I wouldn't say you had it all your own way. I mean, yes, you didn't really have to defend, but there was a few guys out there that were right on your tail for the best part of about 95% of that race.
Yeah, nobody was going anywhere, from, I was not going to break free from anyone, I should say, but I just had to focus really on just hitting my marks, not really worried too much what was going on behind me, and just strategize my race the best that I could.
Now, we saw at the end, you seemed to just be able to pull a little bit away. I mean, how's the tyres at the end of that? Silverstone pounds the fronts. It looked like people were struggling, but more with the rear end than anything.
Personally, for me, my tyres actually were spot on. I made a few setup changes just this morning here before the race because I found over a long run I was struggling a wee bit, so I made some changes and it luckily worked out alright for me.
Monza up next week. How'd you like that place? And what are you expecting on that place? Probably different aero trim than everywhere else this season.
I'm still expecting a GP2 engine, but a completely different kind of race and one I'm definitely looking forward to.
Oh, that GP2 engine didn't do too badly today, so looking forward to a great race next week.
Yeah, thanks,
definitely.
Jamie. Well done again, mate. And we'll see you. We'll see you next week. Just before you go, championship points. I mean, I haven't seen the results. Couldn't bring them up. What did you get for? What did everybody get for that top 3, 4?
I haven't actually brought them up myself here. If I can bring it up here, give us 10 seconds. Hopefully, it'll come up.
Yeah, that's what I say. Always. Never happens.
Here we go. Yeah, 249 points for the win there.
Yeah, nice. That's just what the doctor ordered.
Yeah, exactly.
And what about what did Marcus get and Boris?
Okay, so Marcus with 237 and Boris with 226.
Yeah, that's really going to close that fight up for sort of second and third. So, interesting. Look forward to seeing how the points pan out. And yeah, Monza next, and then the final round at Spa should be exciting as well.
I will say I'm very much looking forward to Spa. It's such a fun track in this car.
Awesome, thanks, mate. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you then.
Cheers, catch you later.
Worth pointing out, if anyone ever wants to come in for a little interview, they're more than welcome to. The TeamSpeak server is, I can say it or post it, it's ts.apexracinguk.com, and the password is in capitals ARL 2010. Just remember that for next time. Just jump in, have a little chat with us, give your team sponsors a shout out, do whatever you may. Conrad, thank you again, sir. Appreciate you jumping in the box. Been fun. We're getting down to the business end of the season now.
Yeah, it was a great race today. It was lovely to be able to concentrate on some great fights out there, and not a lot of cars crashing like we saw around Suzuka last week. Monza, of course, should be a great race as well with its long straights, and then like everybody who doesn't love Spa, and especially on week 12, it should be a popular race, and I think they scheduled that perfectly. We should see some big splits as well.
I agree. Right, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Of course, Thursday first up is the Winter Series. Again, continues, of course, on iRacing Live and Motors TV. Because I'm completely unorganised, got no idea where that is. We'll have to look at the schedule. But that'll be back, and then on Saturday, What have we got going on Saturday? Actually, I think we're not doing anything this this coming Saturday. So, yes, so just the BSR and then back to Monza. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll be back next week.